Hi there, it's Matt Walker here, and welcome back to the podcast. And welcome back to the final episode in this three-part series all about chronotypes. So far, we've discussed what chronotypes are and some of the dangers of not sleeping in sync with your chronotype. In this third episode, we're going to discuss whether or not you can change an evening type into a morning type. Now, I don't wish this for evening types. I don't want those evening types to have to change. I think evening types should be allowed to sleep when they are biologically designed to sleep and wake up. But I'm also a realist, and I understand why trying to change night owls into morning larks may be seen as helpful. And it has been tried. These were the remarkable efforts of an Australian-led team. Here's the long and short of it. They took a group of extreme night owls, and these folks typically wanted to fall asleep around 2:30 a.m. in the morning. The sleep plan that the researchers designed unfolded across the course of 3 weeks. And it was far from easy, however. They had to follow a total of 12 rules during this 3-week period. And here they are in quick fire succession. Are you ready? Number 1, set an alarm and wake up 2 to 3 hours earlier than would be normal. Number 2, very soon after waking up, you must eat breakfast. Number 3, in the morning, get outside and get as much natural daylight as possible. Number 4, only exercise in the morning, not in the afternoon or in the evening. Number 5, eat lunch earlier than you would otherwise, and at the same time each and every day. Number 6, no caffeine after 3 p.m. Number 7, no napping after 4 p.m. Number 8, eat dinner early in the evening and do not eat any food after 7 p.m. Number 9, go to bed 2 to 3 hours earlier than normal. Number 10, limit the amount of light exposure in the evening. And finally, number 11, go to bed and wake up at the same time each and every day. In fact, within 15 to 30 minutes, no matter whether it was the weekend or the weekday. Was the experiment successful? Well, kind of. The sponsor of today's episode is Athletic Greens. Now, I know at this point you're probably wanting to just skip forward, but if you could just give me a quick chance to explain why I selected them as a sponsor, I'd be so very grateful. Athletic Greens is a nutrition drink, and it's one that I've been using for a good few years now. And I'd heard about it from lots of famous people in the podcast arena. But I ended up using it because it really provides all of the necessary daily vitamins and minerals, biotics, and also a very healthy dose of antioxidants, which I'm particularly interested in. And I'm going to speak about those more in detail regarding links to sleep. The final reason I selected Athletic Greens is because of its founder and CEO, and that is Chris Ashenden. He's a very special individual. He created this company from the ground up in New Zealand, and he's also just a really genuine guy, and he's trying to improve people's health and wellness with Athletic Greens, and that's something I want to get behind too. So if this sounds interesting, head on over to athleticgreens.com/Matt Walker, and you'll firstly get some money off your initial order. Also, if you use that link, athleticgreens.com/Matt Walker, they will give you a 1-year free supply of vitamin D. And also, as a special favor to this podcast, Chris has been really kind. If you use that link, athleticgreens.com/Matt Walker, they will give you 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Anyway, that's Athletic Greens. Now, let's get back to the podcast. So, the experiment was somewhat successful. The internal clock timing of those extreme night owls had been wound back in time, as it were, indeed, almost by 2 hours in total. So that by the end of the 3 week experiment, these evening types were now going to bed somewhere between midnight or 12:30 a.m. Furthermore, their performance on several standardized cognitive and mental tasks had also improved, particularly during the morning hours when night owls typically struggle the most. Still, it wasn't as though these evening types had magically switched over to becoming shiny, happy morning types by any stretch of the imagination. They were still wanting to go to bed at midnight or a little bit later, as I said, which is certainly not morning type behavior and certainly not much very help in the face of modern society's demand for early morning start times. So, can a leopard change its spots? Well, to mix metaphors in a terrible mess of solecism, some spots on the night owl leopard can be smeared, or at least smeared a little bit. But in truth, it's hard to imagine that those people would be able to keep up all of those rules and stay strictly to all of those rules each and every day for the rest of their lives. I just worry that it's not real world practical. Instead, can we not just let night owls sleep in harmony as they were genetically made? If we did that, I can assure you that the world would be a happier and healthier place as a consequence. That would be my wish, at least. And with that, I will simply say good night. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.